7:02 in the morning. The alarm is going off somewhere under your face. Under your face. Because the phone never made it to the nightstand. It's in the bed with you. It spent the night there. It's a little warm. The battery says 23%. And your thumb finds the snooze button before your brain has fully clocked in. Take inventory for a second. Your neck needs one slow roll before it agrees to work. Your eyes feel dry and heavy, like they never actually closed. And there's that thick, sandbagged feeling behind your forehead that a full night in bed was supposed to prevent. Here's what last night looked like. You got into bed at 11:07. You told yourself 5 minutes. You put the phone down at 12:07. 1 hour in bed. In the dark. Scrolling. And during that hour, nothing dramatic happened to you. Your spine did not collapse. Your eyes were not damaged. Nobody needs to panic. But 4 separate systems in your body got handed work at the exact moment they were trying to finish their shift and go home for the night. This morning, all 4 of them are billing you. The stiff neck is a line item. The dry eyes are a line item. The sandbag behind your forehead. That one's the biggest line item of all. To read the bill properly, you have to go back to 11:07, back to the moment your head hit the pillow, because your body had already started something in that bedroom. And you walked right into the middle of it. You think of getting into bed as the start of something. Lights off, head down, and now sleep begins. Like turning a key. Your body sees it the other way around. By the time you pulled back the covers at 11:07, the night shift was already running. And it had been running for a couple of hours. Picture an office building at closing time. Nobody flips one master switch. The lights go off floor by floor. The thermostat steps down. The cleaning crew starts at the top and works down. And the last elevator gets called to the lobby. That's your body in the hour before bed. And none of it waits for your permission. Your core temperature started easing down earlier in the evening. The heat has to go somewhere. So your body pushes it out through the skin, which is why your hands and feet get warm right before you're ready to sleep. That cozy feeling under the blanket is your internal thermostat. Mid-shutdown, your heart rate has been drifting lower, a few beats at a time, and in the dark, a chemical signal for nighttime has started to rise, quietly telling every department in the building the same message. We're closing. So no, you didn't get into bed to start the night. The night was already started. What you did was carry a floodlight into the middle of it. 11:07. Head on the pillow, and the screen is already on. First position. The classic, flat on your back. A phone held straight up over your face. It feels sustainable for about 4 minutes. And then your arm files the first complaint of the evening. That dull burn along the shoulder. The little wobble in the wrist. So you don't stop. You renovate. You roll onto your side. Now the bottom shoulder is folded under your body weight. Your neck is bent at an angle it would never choose on its own. And the phone has crept closer to your face. Because it can. 10 minutes later, that shoulder starts talking. So you renovate again. Extra pillow behind your head. Chin tucked down toward your chest. Elbows planted in the mattress like tent poles. None of these positions is dangerous. That's worth saying clearly. Because the internet has scared a lot of people about this. 1 hour of bent neck did not degenerate your spine. The scary phrase for it, text neck, gets thrown around like a diagnosis. And the evidence for phone posture wrecking spines simply isn't there. Your neck is built for a lifetime of looking down at things. Babies. Books. Sandwiches. It can handle a screen. The real issue is smaller and sneakier. Muscles hate holding still. They're built for movement. Or for genuine rest. And scrolling in bed gives them neither one. Your neck. your shoulders, your forearm. They're all holding a static load, keeping a 5-ounce object perfectly stable in front of your eyes while the rest of you pretends to relax. And here's the pattern hiding inside all that shifting around. Every position eventually files a complaint. The arm gets tired, so you hand the problem to the shoulder. The shoulder gets sore, so you hand it to the neck. The neck stiffens up, so you stack another pillow and hand it right back down the line. At no point does the scroll actually end. The complaint just keeps getting a new mailing address. Your body asked for rest. What it got was a night job with rotating stations. By minute 15, your neck is fine. Annoyed. But fine. It will still be filing paperwork about this at 7 in the morning. But there's no damage. Just overtime. Your eyes. Though, by minute 15, your eyes have started doing something genuinely strange. And you have no idea it's happening. You're probably braced for the blue light lecture right about now. Everybody's heard it. The screen glows. The glow is blue. The blue is evil. Hold that thought, because we'll get to light later, and the story is messier than the lecture. What's happening to your eyes at 11:22 has nothing to do with the color of your screen. It's about a tiny piece of maintenance you've done your whole life without thinking, and how the feed is quietly talking you out of it. A blink is a 2-part job. The lid starts at the top, sweeps all the way down across the surface of your eye, painting a fresh layer of tears over every inch of it, and comes back up. Think of a windshield wiper making a full pass, top to bottom, across the glass. You run this program thousands of times a day, automatically, for free, and every full pass leaves the surface of your eye clean, wet, and comfortable. Now watch what the feed does to that program. Every video is a few seconds long. Every swipe delivers something new. Your eyes are locked onto a bright object about a foot from your face, and your attention never gets a gap long enough to look away. The videos keep coming. Your focus stays nailed to the glass. And somewhere in there, your blinks start cutting corners. The lid comes partway down. Then it changes its mind and goes back up. You are still blinking. You're just getting worse at finishing the job. That's the part almost nobody knows. Researchers have watched this happen in the lab, putting people in front of a phone screen for an hour and counting every blink. The blinks don't just slow down. More and more of them come back incomplete. Half passes of the wiper. And the longer the session runs, the sloppier they get. Meanwhile, the person holding the phone notices nothing. You can't feel a lazy blink. There's no alarm for it. But your eye keeps the receipts. A full blink repaints the whole windshield, top to bottom. A half blink stops partway down, which means the wiper never reaches the lower stretch of glass. Down there, the fresh coat never arrives, and the thin film of moisture that's already sitting on that part of your eye starts to evaporate into the bedroom air. One lazy blink means nothing. Hundreds of them, stacked across an hour. And there's a strip of your windshield the wiper hasn't properly touched since 11:07. That's the burning feeling. That's the heaviness. The grit. The thing that makes you rub your eyes at midnight and squint at your alarm at 7. People blame the brightness, or the hour, or their allergies. It's simpler than that. Your eyes spent an hour being lightly air-dried while you watched a stranger renovate a kitchen. Now, the honest part, because this channel doesn't do horror stories. For most people, this is temporary. Nothing about an hour of sloppy blinking damages your vision. Close your eyes for the night. The system resets. The tears replenish. And by tomorrow, your eyes have mostly forgiven you. Dry is a complaint, and complaints heal. But sit in the moment for a second, because the timing matters. It's 11:26. Your neck is on its third position. Your eyes are burning around the edges. Your body has now sent you two separate, polite invoices in under 20 minutes. And both of them carry the same message. Put it down. And honestly, you were close. That's the thing about minute 20 or so. The complaints are starting to break through. The feed is showing you a recipe you'll never cook. And some quiet part of you is drifting toward the nightstand. You would have stopped. A lot of nights. That's exactly how it ends. Except at 1:30. The feed finds the one thing your tired neck and your dry eyes are powerless against. It finds the part of you that was never sleepy at all. For the first half hour, the feed has been harmless. Look at what you've actually been watching. A pasta recipe you will never cook. A golden retriever refusing to get out of a car. Two strangers arguing about a parking spot in a city you've never visited. A kitchen getting renovated in 30 seconds flat. Your brain is coasting through all of it. Barely awake. And honestly, this version of scrolling is almost gentle. It asks nothing of you. It's wallpaper with a pulse. If the whole hour looked like that, tonight would be a smaller story. Then, at 11:37, something slides down from the top of the screen. A notification. Your coworker's name on it. And a preview that cuts off at the worst possible spot. Hey, quick question about tomorrow. That's it. That's the whole message. The preview ends right there. And the rest of it is sitting behind a tap. Watch what happens to you in the next 5 seconds. Because it's fast and it's total. Your heart picks up one extra beat. Your shoulders, which had finally melted into the mattress, lift off it by a millimeter. Your jaw sets a little. And your brain, which has been coasting on golden retrievers for 30 minutes, snaps upright like the office lights just came back on at midnight. 1 second ago, this was a bed. Right now, it's a desk. Quick question about what tomorrow, the meeting, the deadline, did something break? Is this the good kind of quick question, or the other kind, your thumb is already moving? And here's the detail worth noticing. You are not opening that message because you want to. You're opening it because an unfinished sentence is sitting 6 inches from your face. And your brain treats an unfinished sentence the way your tongue treats a chipped tooth. It cannot leave it alone. So you open it. Maybe it really was nothing. Doesn't matter. The damage is done. Because the drawbridge is down now. And the rest of the day comes marching across it. The email app with its little red number. And you just check it. Quickly. Standing guard over an inbox at midnight like anyone's going to need you before dawn. A news story with a headline built to raise your blood pressure. And it works. A video of somebody being confidently wrong about something you know cold. And you watch the whole thing twice. Drafting a comment you'll never post. Within 10 minutes, this bed has been an office, a newsroom, and a courtroom where you're arguing both sides. Your neck is still sore. By the way, your eyes are still burning. Nothing from the first half hour got fixed. But you don't feel any of it anymore. Because those complaints were coming from the hardware, and the feed just got a direct line to the software. Now here's where the whole blue light story needs to be put in its place. You've been told the light is the problem. And the light is real. We'll get to it. But light works one particular angle. Light lies to your brain about what time it is. The glow says daytime when it's midnight. And your inner clock hesitates. The feed does something a color filter can't touch. The light tells your brain something about the time. The feed gives your brain something to do with that time. A brain that's been lied to about the hour can still drift off. A brain that's been handed a job fights to stay on the clock. And for the last 10 minutes, the feed has been handing you jobs faster than you can decline them. Answer this, coworker. Have an opinion on this stranger. Be angry about this headline. Keep watch on this inbox. A body can lie perfectly still under a blanket while the brain works a full shift. And that's exactly what's happening on this mattress right now. Which raises the real question of the night. Your neck hurts. Your eyes burn. You have work in 8 hours. Why are you still scrolling? Everybody has the same answer ready. The phone feels good. That's why. It's a slot machine. It's dopamine. It's addiction. Pick your favorite word from the internet. And that story sounds right until you look at your own last half hour. Because almost nothing you watched tonight was actually good. You've been swiping past most of it in under 2 seconds. Whatever this is, it isn't pleasure. Pleasure doesn't look like a tired person frowning at a parking argument. There's a simpler way to read it. And it's a little more uncomfortable. The next video doesn't need to be good. It only needs to be unknown. Every swipe is a card face down on the table. And your brain. The same brain that kept your ancestors checking over the next hill, has always had a hard time walking away from a face-down card. It's almost never an ace. You know it's almost never an ace. You flip it anyway. Because not knowing is the one itch that scratching only spreads. So no. You're not weak. And you're not broken. And this isn't really about willpower at midnight. It's a deck that never runs out of cards. Played against a brain that was never designed to fold. And while all of that is going on, something much quieter is happening in the background. Nobody's watching the clock. The clock does not care. 11:37 became 11:45. And 11:45 is about to become 11:52. And every one of those minutes was spent in bed. And none of them was spent asleep. The feed didn't steal anything exotic from you tonight. It stole the most boring thing you own. Minutes. At 11:52, your body is going to make one last attempt to end this night properly. It's going to open a door for you. You're about to scroll right past it. It arrives quietly, the way it always does. A yawn. A real one. The kind that bends your whole face. Your eyelids pick up weight. The phone gets heavier in your hand. And the words on the screen go slightly soft at the edges. For a little while, your body is as close to sleep as it can get while the lights are still on. If it could talk, it would keep it short. Now, right now, this is the train, and it is standing in the station. And you look at that feeling. You feel how warm the blanket is. And you say the 3 words that have wrecked more mornings than any alarm clock ever built. Just one more. Here's what almost nobody understands about that moment. Sleepiness is not a ramp that goes down and stays down. For a lot of people, it comes in swells. It builds. It peaks. And if nothing happens while it's peaking, it can fade back out. The wave that hit you at 11:52 was real. And it was the best boarding call you were going to get tonight. You just weren't looking at the platform. You've lived the second half of this story 100 times. You just never connected it to the first half. You push through the yawn. You watch 4 more videos. And when you finally put the phone down, ready to drop straight into sleep, you're lying there in the dark instead. Eyes open. Weirdly and completely awake. Staring at the ceiling and wondering where all that sleepiness went. You were exhausted 15 minutes ago. Now you're just tired and alert at the same time. Which is the worst combination a human being can feel at midnight. The sleepiness didn't vanish. Sleep didn't give up on you. You watched the exit go by. Because that's how it works. It's a highway. You miss your exit. You don't get to pull over and wait for it to come back around. You drive on to the next one. However far away that is. And you don't get a vote on the distance. Another wave will come. But it comes on your body's schedule. And your body is not taking requests right now. Because for the last hour you've been feeding it light and jobs and parking arguments. and it has quietly moved your bedtime without asking you. Now, about that light, because this is where it finally earns its place in the story. Your screen has been on night mode this whole time. The soft orange glow. You probably set it up years ago and gave yourself a little credit for it. And to be fair, you deserve some. Warming up a screen at night is pointing in the right direction, and the light itself is a real signal your inner clock listens to. But look at this scene honestly. You are still in bed at midnight. The screen is still glowing, whatever color it is. The feed is still dealing cards. Your coworker's message is still sitting in your head like a splinter. Night mode changed the color of the room. It did not get you out of the room. It's a warmer shade of the same wide awake. And that points at the real accounting error everybody makes about phones and sleep. People imagine the damage happens after. They picture the scrolling ending and then some chemical fog hanging around, costing them sleep like a tax. Some of that may be real. But the biggest loss of the night isn't hiding in your brain chemistry. It's sitting right there on the clock, in plain sight. The biggest sleep loss doesn't happen after you put the phone down. It's the hour you never offered to sleep in the first place. You had 7 hours and 55 minutes between getting into bed and that alarm. That was the whole pot. Every minute of sleep you could possibly have collected tonight. The hour of scrolling didn't poison it or curse it. It just took 60 minutes of that opportunity straight off the top. The simplest math in the world. And no setting on the phone can give those minutes back. Not night mode. Not the blue light filter. Nothing. The hour was spent. The receipt is the ceiling you're now staring at. 12:07. It finally happens. The arm comes down. The phone lands face down on the mattress. The glow dies. The room is dark. The house is silent. And the night can finally have you. Except walk inside for a second. Because it's not quiet in there. The reply to that coworker is still being drafted. Edited. Redrafted. The parking argument is getting replayed. And this time you're in it. And you're winning. 15 seconds of a song you don't even like is looping like a hostage situation. Your eyes are closed. Your body is still. And behind your forehead, the office lights are blazing, and every desk is staffed. The screen is off. Nobody told your nervous system, 7:02 in the morning. The alarm is going off somewhere under your face. Same bed. Same phone. Still warm. Still at 23%. Same neck asking for one slow roll before it agrees to work. Only one thing is different now. This time, you can read the bill. Because that's what this morning is. It's an invoice. And it has 4 lines on it. One for every system that got handed work last night. And each line deserves to be read out loud. Line 1. The mechanical charge. That stiffness across your neck and the top of your shoulder. That's not damage. And it's worth saying one more time so nobody leaves this video scared. Nothing in there degenerated overnight. No disc gave up. What you're feeling is a muscle group that clocked in for a night shift it never applied for, holding a static load through 4 rotating positions while the rest of you watched a kitchen renovation. Sore because it worked. The same reason your legs are sore after a hike. Except the hike was 5 inches of screen and your neck never got to see the view. Line 2. The ocular charge. Those dry, heavy eyes that feel like they never closed. Remember the windshield wiper cutting its passes short. Hour after hundreds of half blinks. Leaving that lower strip of glass without a fresh coat. Your eyes spent the night catching up on the moisture they lost. And this morning they're still behind. It's a small charge. And for most people, it clears by the afternoon. But it's on the bill. And you're squinting at your alarm because of it. Line 3. The sleep charge. And this is the line nobody gets to argue with. Studies can debate how much the light mattered, how much the content mattered, how sensitive your particular brain is at midnight. Fine. Let them debate. This line needs no study at all. You had 7 hours and 55 minutes in that bed, and you offered sleep nearly 7. An hour of your night went to a parking argument and a face-down deck of cards. No filter. No setting. No warm orange glow gets that hour back. It's the most boring line on the bill. And it's the most expensive. Line 4. The volume charge. And this is the one that ties your whole morning together. Sleep and pain talk to each other. In both directions. A short night doesn't just leave you tired. For a lot of people, it turns up the volume on the body's complaint system. So every ache comes through louder than it deserves. Which means your neck this morning is getting hit twice. It genuinely worked overtime. And now the department that processes its complaints is running short on sleep and playing everything at full blast. So look at that neck one more time. It may not hurt because 60 minutes damaged it. It may hurt because 60 minutes made it work, cut its recovery short, and turned up the volume on the complaint. That's the whole bill. Now, one honest note before anyone signs it. The phone doesn't explain every bad morning you've ever had. Bad mattresses exist. Stress exists. Kids and dogs and street noise exist. But last night, on this particular morning, the phone left fingerprints on all 4 lines, and you watched it do it. The question is what anybody's supposed to do about it. And this is the part where you're bracing for a program. You know how this section usually goes. Because you've seen 100 versions of it. This is where the video starts handing out homework. Blue light glasses. A special pillow. An app that locks your apps. Screens off 60 minutes before bed. Phone charging in another room. A sunrise lamp. A wind-down routine with 7 steps. None of that is coming. Most of those tips die within a week anyway. And a few of them are just merchandise wearing a lab coat. There's one rule, and it's small enough to actually survive contact with a real life. Do the scrolling before you get into bed, not after. That's it. That's the entire prescription. Notice everything it doesn't ask of you. Nobody's taking the phone. Nobody's canceling the golden retriever. Or the recipes. Or even the parking argument. If that's your idea of a good time, the hour of scrolling isn't the crime here. 60 minutes of dumb videos at the end of a hard day is a completely reasonable thing for a human being to want. The problem was never the hour. The problem was the address. Because a bed has one job. And it can't do that job while the phone keeps hauling the entire day into it. The inbox. The news. The coworker. The arguments. Every night you scroll under those covers. The bed learns a little more that this is a place where days happen. And every night you don't. It learns the opposite. So here's the same night. One small edit. 11:07 the next evening. You've got the phone. And you're scrolling. And the retriever still won't get out of the car. The only difference is where you're sitting. The couch. The armchair. Anywhere that isn't under the covers. Same feed. Same videos. Same you. There's a charging cable waiting on the coffee table now. Because that's where the phone lives at night from here on out. And then somewhere around 11:30, the yawn shows up. The real one. The kind that bends your whole face. The train pulling into the station. Last night, you scrolled straight past it. Tonight, you feel it. You plug the phone in on the coffee table. And you walk to the bed carrying nothing. No inbox. No headlines. No unfinished sentences from coworkers. Just a tired body that started closing the building 2 hours ago. Finally allowed to finish the job. The lights go off floor by floor. The wave is still rising. And this time, you're on it. 7:02 the next morning. The alarm goes off on a coffee table down the hall. And you have to actually get up to silence it, which is its own kind of alarm clock. And the bill on the pillow is a different document entirely. Maybe the neck still has a small note for you. Necks usually do. But nobody pulled a night shift in there. Nobody had to work overtime last night. The eyes closed all the way and stayed that way. And that extra hour you handed to sleep instead of the feed. Sleep spent every minute of it. The phone is fine. By the way, fully charged. Sitting on the coffee table exactly where you left it. Holding everything from yesterday that felt so urgent at midnight. The coworker's question, the headlines, the argument, turns out all of it kept until morning. It always does.